Here we go. All right. Great. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Okay. Good to go. All right. I'm just going to get started. Thanks for coming. The ultimate 2024 marketing plan for generator leads. Not everybody's a generator dealer. I actually have somebody who's a master electrician on here running an electric company. Everything can be applied to really any business, primarily generator dealers, either Kohler or Generac and all those other brands. So we're just going to jump right into it. Everybody's good to go. Our plan for this session today is we're going to set clear goals and targets for the entire year. I say goals because we want to make sure that we're carving out our revenue goals and our targets so that we can realign our KPIs and our tracking to achieve outcomes. We're going to map out a plan for accomplishment. By the end of this thing, we're going to go through our budget. We're going to talk about the channels. We're going to talk about important trends that you guys should know about when it comes to online marketing or managing a website and everything you need to do to set you up for massive success 2024 and beyond. So that all sounds good. We're going to move forward. I am going to drop a quick link to this workbook in the chat. I'm going to make this interactive so that you guys can work alongside me. This is a Google Doc. So just jump in here in this link. I'm going to share that as soon as I can share that with you and copy the doc. Here's the link right there. Okay, click that. Maybe have me aside, put my presentation off to the side and then have the workbook on the other side. I'll share the workbook screen too. This is what our workbook looks like. Just give me a quick one in the comments if you have this. Well, everybody's good. Brian says good. All right, and this is yours to keep. You can download this, you can print this, you can use this for subsequent years. This is a very helpful tool, and this is something we're going to use throughout this presentation so that we can really hone in on what it is that we're all trying to do. Who am I and why should you listen to me? So I have 17 plus years of experience in internet marketing. I have built a $1 million a year generalist agency. I've worked directly with more than 50 generator dealers over the last 10 years or so. I've spoken at mastermind cohorts events for successful electrical contractors. And now I'm running a specialized agency specifically for generator dealers. And it's called Power Source. I have a 5-person team. I have a social manager, a social media director, a marketing director, and 2 web developers, plus myself. And our mission currently is to help 100 generator dealers double their revenue. So if we could do it from this one meeting, that would be amazing. So first thing first, we're going to get into is we're going to set clear goals. To our first section here. And you're going to kind of just reflect on the last year and just kind of put in your current snapshot. You know, it's really good to look back at what you've currently accomplished and where you're currently standing at right now so that it can help you position a more reasonable approach for the next year, right? And maybe any other key metrics that you might want to get into. Your average ticket number. If you do a little bit of electrical work, you might have that number. And maybe some of you guys do go by trucks and how many trucks you have and you want to get further trucks or anything like that. The point here is just to look at the current snapshot and to kind of just fill in the blanks here of what we've been doing up until this point. The next aspect is the 2025 goal and the future vision. So what is our annual revenue? Where do we want to be at the end of 2024 going into 2025? How many more trucks do we want? And kind of put down your why in here. So maybe you want financial freedom, or you want to send your kids to a good school, or you want to pay off the SBA loans, things like that. All of that is important to kind of circle back to your ultimate goals and to make sure that your mind and your general moving forward is in the direction of your goals and annual revenue. So does anyone want to put in what their annual revenue is for 2023, or where they need to be, maybe how many trucks, maybe anybody want to share anything? Thanks, Wayne. Appreciate that. So 1.4 million. That's great. That's a good number for 2023. I would imagine maybe 1.5 or even 2 million in 2024. So let's start talking about goals. I have on this one slide, success is goals. Wayne says, all right, 2.4 million. Okay, so we're going to go another million in 2023. That sounds great. Success is goals, right? All else is commentary, which basically, to me, this just means like not having goals is just like sitting in a sailboat out in the ocean with no wind. Okay, so the current's going to take you. You may get there, you may not, and that's just kind of not by not having any goals. You have no direction, and we may never get there. So what we need to do is we need to add wind to our sails, right? We need to have those clear goals in place so that we go in this direction. So we know that where we're going to get to. That's kind of the point in having goals. So you want to make sure that you have a target number, even if as great as a year out. We want to try to drill that down to maybe a weekly or a monthly or a quarterly so that we can get there. I promise this will get practical and tactical in just a few minutes. Okay, so now going into this worksheet, I'm going to actually do this worksheet with Wayne shared some numbers here. I'm going to share this worksheet. So in the workbook, there is a link to this worksheet. Okay. This worksheet takes us to a Google Sheet. You just have to do a quick file and copy on that. If you go up to file and copy, make a copy, you should be able to then edit that. So what we're doing here is we're looking at a total annual revenue. So we're trying, remember, we're trying to create our goal and have an idea of what we're going to get into forward. This is gonna directly impact our marketing and our strategy for what we're going to execute and how we're going to execute it over the year. So if we put in Wayne's annual revenue target, 5 million target, that gets us to 416,000 per month. That's the kind of revenue we need to be doing on a monthly basis. So now we look at the average installation value. So Wayne, where are we? Are we between 9 grand and 15 grand, somewhere around that? What's your average install? 15K. All right. 15K. All right. So the document here says that we need to have 28 installs per month. That's almost one a day of a generator in order to reach our 5 million goal after 2023. So now the real question here is what's your average conversion rate from once you get a call to that actual installation? So if you get out of 10 calls, out of 100 calls, how many are you actually converting into a customer? So we want to say maybe an average of 60%, right? This year, 5 to 10. So you're closing 50%. So if half of the calls that come in, we close half of them. All right. So the number of leads we need to do is double. So we need 56 calls for installations, interest in generators, right? In order to get 28 closes on a monthly basis and facilitate those. So this gets very practical very quickly. So what I'm going to do is now that we have a number of our target, our goals are kind of set. Our annual revenue goal is set. Our number of customers that are required to close is set, and the number of leads that we need to bring in is set. And that's kind of the purpose of it. Okay. So now we want to talk about the actual marketing strategy. So once that is all done, now we can get into the accelerated growth model. Okay, so this is what we've developed as a perfect roadmap to getting the leads that we need to get and closing those leads as fast as possible. So there are 3 key components here. The first key component is to drive leads. We need to drive traffic to our website, and basically with 3 different aspects. So the organic SEO and our existing database and any kind of paid search. We want to maximize conversion. That's basically the best that we can do to close a lead when it comes in from the call to make it a customer. So that 50% number, maybe there's things that we can do to get that to where it needs to be. Right. And then we want to optimize results. We're going to look at the revenue that comes in. We're going to look at the cost per lead that it takes to bring them in and the conversion. And we're going to adjust everything to make sure that the direction here is solid. So the marketing that we're doing is done smart, and we're spending the money in the right place. So the first thing we talk about to drive leads is organic SEO. So everybody knows what SEO means, right? SEO is basically everything that you could do to your website to bring them in organically without paid leads, without outside referrals or anything like that. We're going to do on the website. I can do a whole hour and a half on this piece, and I'm not going to do that, but we will get into some of the details that convert high later. But website, working on your website, managing your Google profile, updating the website's content, and any kind of outside links going into your website is going to be a big piece of this. So this is what I'm talking about with organic search. So here's where, if you did a quick search, generator service in Hanover, New Jersey, this is an organic result. This is your Google profile. This is the search engine results page where you would come up in regular search. So that's where, those are the sections that we're talking about. Up here, this is paid search. So here is a real deal number from a single month. We have 47 leads that came in for $3,500 spent with an average cost per lead of $75. This varies between everybody, but you can see that these leads come in a variety of different channels, whether it's going to be organic calls, pay-per-click calls, Google Map calls, web forms, 47, right? What we're looking at is the Google Map calls and the organic calls. This roughly turns out to be 64% of the leads that are coming in are coming from the organic aspect of your website. So your website, an optimized website, an optimized Google profile results in 64% of your leads. So this is why we put so much emphasis on Google, on website SEO, is because it covers the majority of the leads that you're going to get. Beyond that, we get into paid search. Now, this is where you're actually paying to get leads. We have the organic foundation, and then we have paid search, Google or Bing, local service ads, things like that. And then this middle line here is any kind of retargeting automation. So once somebody visits your website, they're then seeing graphical ads and images, and it leads back to your website. So that's basically retargeting. If you ever been on a website and then you start seeing ads for that same item you were looking at Home Depot, that's retargeting, and you can use software to do that. So beyond that, paid directories, pay per leads, Angie's List, House, things like that, and then Facebook, TikTok, social ads, things like that. That's all brand based. That's putting yourself in front of people who aren't necessarily looking for you. Paid search is not like that. Paid search is putting yourself in front of people who are looking for you, but it puts you more towards the top of the search engine results. So I know some of you guys we've talked to in the past we've done Google ads, we spent a bunch of money and it didn't really work, or we had an agency do it. There's reasons why some of those campaigns don't really work out. So here's a few of those reasons. If you set up only one ad group for all your services, it may not work out. So you need a separate ad group, one for installations, one for maintenance, one for electrical. So everything is properly tracked and properly laid out for the end user. When they hit your ad, they're taken to a page that's relevant. If you don't use specific text ads and landing pages for groups of keywords, that's what I mean by having a specific page for each of those services. And then no strong call to action or offer on the landing page. So you definitely want to get them, once they click your ad, they see your landing page, they have a reason to then call you or contact you. Very, very important things that are sometimes missed. A lot of people just set up their ads, have it go to their homepage, and wonder why they're spending tens of thousands of dollars, wondering why it's not bringing enough leads. If it's done right, we can run an ad campaign for $500. You could even do this. We have 8 total leads with a conversion rate of 40%, which means once they come to the page, we're getting the calls of 40%. That resulted in 3 booked jobs, right? An average new customer profit, we estimated around $1,200. This is profit. And then 3 jobs at $1,200, $3,600. So the projected ROI here is 7.2% in the return on that $500 investment, if the ads are done right. So paid search is definitely a way to go if you have the budget and if you already have that solid foundation on your organic SEO. Now, the third way to drive leads is through your own customer database. This is where a lot of guys are leaving money on the table. If you have your existing customer database and you're not emailing them, you're missing out on potential jobs. You can send them emails, and the biggest trend right now is SMS text messaging. So you can send them SMS text messages, ask them if their OEM warranty is expiring, ask them if they need service, they want to increase their service on their generator or anything like that. That's something else that you could do. Actually, going back to that worksheet, there's some ideas in there for you. We'll get into that later. But if you have a list of over 3,000 previous customers or previous prospects, and you get 180 replies, 70 leads, 14 jobs, I mean, think about the kind of money that you can bring in just from emailing a list that you have in your database. So this is very important. Don't sleep on this part of it. Set up an email system and send a monthly email with promotions or offers that can really be a game changer. You guys should go back into that workbook. This is a great way to kind of gauge yourself on each one of those. So how are you guys doing? Wayne, how are you doing on each one of those? Organic SEO, paid search, and database. Just kind of rate yourself, rate red, yellow, green on each one of those. And let's see how you're doing. Okay, red and organic SEO. Okay. Facebook green. Is that paid search? So I would probably put that in the organic SEO aspect. Okay, it's mostly ads. So if you're red on organic SEO and you're green on paid search and you're red on database, there's some shifts that you need to do. So we're gonna go back over here and get into maximizing conversion. Once you've driven these leads to your website and your organic SEO is solid and you've got paid search running and you've got emails going out for your database and people are now checking you out, they're on your website and they're not calling, right? So this is where you have to make some changes to do a lead to call or lead to form modifications to get that converted. I have 12 critical elements to enhance conversion on the website. This is like a whole other webinar, and you guys will have this, and we are going to go through some of this. But there's very important critical elements needed on your website to make sure that somebody is getting to your website and then calling you, filling out a form. And there's a lot of different ways that you can offer to do that. But the reason why we talk about that is going back to this example, 47 leads, and we're looking at website performance. So if we're getting 1,400 visits to the website in a given month, and we're seeing 495 leads or 24 web forms, all these different metrics, the idea is to hone in on a high click to call ratio. So if you're getting all this access to your website, all this traffic to your website, but you're not getting any calls or clicks or form fills, that's kind of what we need to look at and figure out. This is another one, 38%, 40%. These are good numbers. You want to be probably around a 30% mark. And there's a lot of things that you could do to ensure, and I'm going to go through it, to ensure that your lead to the website is then calling you and filling out a form. Okay, so a few things that you really need to focus on. This is kind of where the meat and potatoes is in your organic SEO a little bit, but ideally these changes are being made specifically to get them to call or click. So first thing you want to do, you got to be real and authentic. You have to show pictures of yourself and your teams, maybe your fleet and your trucks. This resonates with people. People relate to people. They want to work with other people. So if you show that you're people, even if you're a family man, you have a picture of you with your wife and your kids, and you have this on your website at the top, this resonates with people, and it will give them more of an impact, and they will want to call more. Believe it or not, do video, leverage video and multimedia, even if it's just like, hey, this is how you do an oil change on your generator. Let's put that on the website. This is how the process works. This is how my company works. These are the guys on my team. Video could be a great added value aspect to your website. You show off your reviews, have links to your social channels, your Facebook, your Instagram, but the reviews are really important. Have a link directly to your Google profile that has the reviews. People are going to work with you more if you've got more of those 5-star reviews. They'll start reading through it. Here are some of the fundamentals for your website. You want your phone number at the very top, nice and big and bright color. You want a form at the top of the web. It doesn't have to be at the top of the website, but we want a form on the website, on the home, so people don't have to go digging around for it. A button to schedule online. So I know a lot of you guys can't really do that. It's hard to have a schedule online booking option, but think about it. If somebody had the ability to go to your website and look at a calendar, pick a day, pick a time that works for them, and have a guy or technician come out to their house, that's a home run. That's at 2 o'clock in the morning. I can get a generator guy out to look at my house tomorrow, whatever. I know that's a really hard thing to do, but if you had that as an option, I think wouldn't you agree that maybe that's something that somebody would do, and that may just be the difference between lead to conversion and a lead that just goes cold. Clear call to actions on the site, very, very important, and maybe a live chat. So more ways to communicate. So the ability to book online, the ability to chat with somebody in the office, the ability to fill out the form, send an email, make a phone call, that kind of stuff. All those different options are what you want to have on your site to help that lead to conversion aspect. So now we've made some changes to the website and we've got a good handle on what is required for the website for people to convert from a lead to conversion. Now we want to work on our reputation. Some guys don't have this. Some guys have 4.5 stars. Some guys don't have any reviews. Reviews are super, super important. So on the Google profile, you want to make sure that you're sending your happy customers to your Google profile so that they can give you a 5-star review and type in whatever it was that they had you do. If people are really happy with what you guys did for them, they're gonna be inclined to do that for you. And you can use Service Titan if you guys are using Service Titan or Service Fusion or Fusion Titan, whatever it is. You can connect that with all these different programs or softwares that provide links back to your website and display these reviews in such a way that it can kind of bring it all together. This is what I mean here by the Google reviews. So we've got 4.7 4.7 stars, 35 reviews. We have 284 five-star reviews. So if these two guys are back to back on Google SERP, you can probably guess that somebody's going to look more here than they will here. And they're direct competitors. So, all right, maximize conversion. Okay, so the third key element of maximizing conversion is automation. So if you get all these leads and you're getting SEO and Google local services, Kohler generators are sending you leads, Generac sending you leads, Angie's List sending you leads, are the leads really the problem? So one of the bigger issues is taking care of that call when it comes in. So what happens when somebody finally calls? What happens when somebody finally sends through a message? Are you getting notification of that right away, like on your phone if you're out in the field and you don't have an office person? Are you getting that message on your phone? Are you responding to them right away? So here's a worldwide general fact that 50 to 60% of inbound leads leave unconverted, and 90% of the web forms fail to convert. And most of it is because of how we respond to it. The leads that are not followed up with 15 minutes, they go cold. And the average customer must be followed up with 5 to 7 times before finally booking. You guys probably would agree with this. And today's consumer prefers to interact with text message or phone call or email. And you kind of have to do all of it. The solution here is to leverage marketing automation. You can have automation follow up with web forms within the first 2 minutes of submission, either phone, email, or text message. And you can automate the follow-up so that every prospect is touched 5 times and able to engage via two-way text messaging. So if you don't have somebody in the office answering the phone right away, and I mean right away. So we have a client whose machine doesn't, if they get the machine, it takes them 45 seconds before they can leave a message. This is not good. So we have another client that answers the phone right away. That's kind of what I'm talking about, but sometimes it puts a weight on your office staff. But if you have automation running, you can send emails right away. Thank you for your inquiry. We'll have somebody call you right away. Or if it's on chat, they can respond for you too. This is all automated systems. We're actually building a system called Generator Amp that automatically has all the workflows built in. I can talk for another day and a half on that one too. But finally having taken care of those calls and converting to leads is a really important piece, and it should be automated. So here's kind of like another stopping point. So for website, your reputation, your automation, does anybody want to put in the chat kind of what they're feeling for each one of those? Typically, the website is pretty good. Reputation is somewhat not good. Automation is usually non-existent. As far as our experience goes anyway. But I don't want to take up too much. So I want to move on to optimizing results. So we want to look at our total spend. So how much does it cost? What are we going to spend to actually get to do all of this stuff? The question is, how much should we spend to do all this stuff? I'm going to jump back to this worksheet real quick. This is kind of where you discover a little bit more about what it takes to really spend your money properly. It's not like you heard something about TikTok. Let's throw $5,000 at TikTok and see what happens. Let's throw $1,000 on the website, see what happens. Let's put some more money in ads and see what happens. Want to really figure out how much money that you have to spend for a marketing budget and put that money in the right places. So if we have an annual projected revenue, and if we want to earn another $1 million, less than 5% of your revenue, you'd kind of remain stagnant. You really wouldn't go anywhere. Be anywhere between 6 to 15% is moderate growth and 15% more. So right around between 12 and 15%, and anything above 15% is more accelerated growth. And this is an investment in your business, right? So an investment meaning put $1 in, you get $3 to $5 out. You kind of really have to look at it that way. This is just for numbers' sake. We're going to look at $1 million projected revenue. We want to put 12% marketing budget back into the company. So our marketing budget is 120,000, right, for the whole year. So our average monthly budget is now 10,000. So now we have to take the money that we're going to allot for marketing and break it up into three pieces. So you have online marketing, which is website, paid search. You have offline marketing, which might include your co-op spend. If you got co-op money with Generac or Kohler, take 20% of that overall marketing budget and spend it with Kohler or Generac, whoever you get the co-op from. Our advice with the co-op is to run maybe direct mail after a storm or anything like that maybe has happened in an area that has lost power. We know that the co-op doesn't give you a lot of money, but for use, direct mail after a storm would be ideal, and to use it for running some online paid search. And then allocate some amount to your repeat business. Okay, so once you have percentages punched in, and you guys can use this however you want. I think it's a really helpful tool. But then it breaks it out into months, and you can see here that you can easily just change up the percentages if it's seasonal or if it's not. If you want to increase some of the online spend or the offline spend in some of the hurricane months, or you can easily do that here, and you'll see how much money you need to spend each month. And this definitely puts a different spin on where your money is being allocated. And if it's being tracked properly, even better. When it comes to online, the question is, all right, well, where do we spend this money online? So I've got this down here, this extra section here can reallocate the online marketing into SEO, pay-per-click, or local service ads, and retargeting. So now it's easy to see, all right, well, how much should we spend on SEO? How much should we spend on pay-per-click? How much should we spend on retargeting? And if you're pretty solid on the SEO part, if your website's solid, if your Google profile is solid, and you guys have a good system in place for posting to your social medias, do it back to your website, and your Google profile is good, then maybe you can increase the spend for your PPC and put more money into the paid search than onto the SEO. Although if you're nowhere on the SEO, if you are a red light for the organic SEO, you need to increase the spend on that and put a lot of focus into that first before you have to do the paid search. That's a really good way to allocate your funds, whatever you have available for marketing. That's how you want to allocate your funds and keep track of where you're spending the money. But once you have the average cost per lead by source, then you can figure out what it will cost you to close a new client. And then you can reverse engineer that back to your budget and your allocations for where you're going to spend more money. So if you're getting more leads from organic SEO than you are paid search, you can pull it back on that end and move it into that end. And they're all going to vary. So pay-per-click might generate a lead for $120. And this is not what you pay. This is over time. You're running these numbers and you're assessing the cost for all of that, so that when you finally get to your return on investment, we're looking at all these numbers together. How much traffic coming into the website? How many leads have you gotten? How many leads have you converted? How much business have you done? And then you end up with, okay, 22 times my investment is where I end up with ROI. And now you can project you're marketing for your future. Because after my advertising spend is wasted, problem is we don't know which half. So a lot of what you have to do is keep track of where you're spending the money, keep track of where the money is coming in, the leads are coming in, and move forward for that. An ROI Insights report, we can get even more in depth when it's connected directly with Service Titan. That's actually directly connected with the CRM, directly connected with the website traffic analysis, and it's showing us exactly how much money is coming in on a regular basis based on effort and leads and conversion. So what we should do now is we should go back and jump back into that workbook and just type in a quick red, green, or yellow on each one of those: ROI, average cost per lead, and your total spend. And now you kind of have, if you print this out and color in the circles, you kind of have a good visual on how you're doing overall on marketing. So what we do now at this point is we're going to plan the focus. So back on that worksheet, there's a marketing calendar there that you can use. You could use that to send emails, write content, do your social posts, and prepare some of your SEO for the upcoming months and the upcoming year to help you towards all of each one of these aspects: drive leads, maximize conversion, and optimize results. There's a lot of great content in here, especially on that spreadsheet. I even included some information on electrical, an electrical marketing calendar in there in case you wanted to use any of that too. We left that on there. A lot of you guys, a lot of our generator clients are also electricians, and they do electrical services as well. There's some special offers that you can use for both electrical and generators. And of course, the budget allocations. And then going back to the workbook, you have additional content in here. There's a nice big checklist to check off to make sure that your website is ready to convert. So I don't think that was too bad. I think we're just under an hour. So we set some clear goals and targets for the year. We realigned some of the KPIs and the tracking to achieve outcomes. We mapped out a plan for accomplishment, hopefully. We looked at our budget. We looked at the channels. We talked about some important trends within automation or paid search, and hopefully we set you guys up to move forward. And we can do a free online marketing plan review directly with you guys. We can customize our research meeting. We'll do an analysis on your online visibility, custom keyword list, the most important search terms, ranking important, showing where you rank currently. Sorry, ranking report, analysis of online directory listings, analysis of online reviews, reputation, social presence, and website conversion effectiveness, and have a productive meeting where we can help you guys in the right path. We also build a very specific, custom tailored program to help you guys and work with you on all of these aspects and on the roadmap. So that's basically it. Does anybody want to share any real key takeaways? I feel like I burned through that whole thing, and I think next time I wanna maybe get everybody on camera, but I didn't set it up that way. Yes, Wayne, let's do that. I'll shoot you an email with a link to schedule a meeting with us. That would be great. Happy to take a look at your stuff and give you some real solid advice and go forward. You got it. Everybody else good? We have a few more people and just take some questions. Happy to hang out and talk to you a little bit more. If you guys have anything, I hope this was beneficial and I hope you guys got something out of it. We'll be doing some more webinars. We're going to be doing a webinar every month from this point forward. We're going to also set up a generator podcast, and we're going to talk generator shop with one of my good friends. He's actually an owner of a generator company, so he's going to be co-hosting with me. I think maybe we get one of you guys on here. So if there's nothing else, you guys are all good to go. I appreciate you coming here and giving me the time, and I hope to see you at the next one.